Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday to all my viewers on the JMA connection, wherever you are. Today is Sunday, and this Sunday is the 9th day of the month of November 2025. And I'm delighted to be here this morning for us to have a very quick exchange in expectation of what is going to happen in the course of the day. As you must have seen from the title, Issa Tchiroma Bakari, the opposition strongman in La République du Cameroon, now also being generally referred to by a majority of the population as president-elect, is finally going to address the nation of Cameroon today. So Issa Tchiroma Bakari will be addressing the population of the Republic of Cameroon today. I do not have the specific time, and I'm going to come back to this information in the course of our broadcast. So I'm extending greetings to everyone as you are coming onto this very brief news flash. This news flash is just in the run-up to that very important moment, because I know, and I mean, all of us are aware that people have been waiting to hear from Issa Tchiroma Bakari, to hear what will be the content of the fourth phase of his fight, of his struggle to, liberate, I'm using his words, to liberate the Republic of Cameroon from the grip of Paul Biya and the Bulu Ekan kingdom. And so therefore I'll be bringing some further information relating to that in the course of this broadcast. But that aside, there's also already news that there are renewed calls to street demonstrations, and we're going to get details also in this broadcast. So if you're just tuning in, do well to share the link and share the link and share as much as you can, so we get as many people as possible to be part of this very important broadcast. Is definitely going to be a very brief one, and I will come back in the course of the day after Issa Tchiroma Bakari would have made his statement to the people of the Republic of Cameroon. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please go right ahead, hit the subscribe button, get as many people as possible also to subscribe to this channel, so that we will continue to impact our community, continue to share information, continue to sensitize and mobilize ourselves to stand up for the cause of freedom. That said, I want to welcome everyone to this platform. So as you just heard me say in the opening, I have on very good authority that Issa Tchiroma Bakari will finally address the people of the Republic of Cameroon today. In my previous broadcast, I've made clear that Eric Chinje, who is, at this point in time, with Issa Tchiroma Bakari in person, and who has been sending out some communications on his behalf, has, that he indicated that Issa Tchiroma Bakari was only going to speak when he will get to a place more comfortable, more secure, and more certain about his environment, and where he will have the possibility to unleash the full package that he is preparing to ensure that he unseats Mr. Paul Biya. In the run-up to that, I also have quite some feats that are a clear indication that people were no longer just going to be waiting on Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakari to come talk before the pickup thing, because the steam appeared to have been dropping on the ground in La République du Cameroon. I just spoke to some people in Garoua who said there was quite some calm returning to Garoua, and they were even speculating that schools could resume in Garoua this Monday. I spoke to people too in other cities, and they said that it was a wait and see kind of calm. And then I just laughed. I said, this sounds very familiar. You recall how many times they have told you that the situation in the southern Cameroons was under total control and that normalcy had returned. And at the time you want to get down to settle down to start celebrating that normalcy is back, I mean, things just take a new turn or a new twist for the worse. I fear that's exactly where we are in La République du Cameroon at this particular point in time. So those people, the southern Cameroons, who had already managed to find themselves in secure locations, if you ask my piece of advice, I will say continue to stay where you are in your secure location. Don't hurry back to the towns, cities, and villages of La République du Cameroon, thinking that Paul Biya has already succeeded in getting what he wanted and the people have given up. I'm afraid giving up appears not to be part of this whole arrangement just yet. And I'm convinced that with the announcement that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is going to be talking today, shockwaves are running through the spines of the people of La République du Cameroon who thought that they had already succeeded in using the Nigerian government to claw him down. And I'm going to come back to that shortly. But before we get to that, I'd like us to listen to this call from one of the officials of BAS, that's Brigade Anti-Sardina France, giving guidelines on, the renewed calls for demonstrations in all the cities, towns, and villages of La République du Cameroun. I'll break it down.
Bonsoir, bonsoir au peuple camerounais, bonsoir. Nous sommes aujourd'hui le samedi 8 novembre 2025. Alors, je prends la parole aujourd'hui, après tout ce qui se passe au Cameroun, pour vous informer. Nous sommes le peuple. C'est nous qui avons élu dans notre majorité le président Issa Tchiroma comme le 3e président de la République du Cameroun. C'est à nous qu'incombe la responsabilité de l'installer au pouvoir, sachant la dictature de Paul Biya que nous avons en face. Il est temps et il est urgent que chacun d'entre nous, tous ceux qui m'écoutent, que ce message soit partagé dans les groupes WhatsApp, partout, que tous les Camerounais, sur le triangle national, puissent se préparer pour une grande marche à partir du mercredi prochain, le mercredi 13 novembre 2025. Nous lançons une grande marche en tant que le peuple, une marche pacifique, organisée, donc dans chaque quartier, dans chaque ville, dans chaque village. La direction, ce sont les sous-préfectures, les préfectures, le siège des gouverneurs. Et à Yaoundé, c'est étudié. C'est une marche qui ne s'arrêtera uniquement une fois avoir chassé le régime de Paul Biya au pouvoir. Nous sommes un...
So as you are hearing, I won't let him finish. I'll get back to him. So I don't let those of you who do not understand the French language to get so lost before I come back. So you hear him. He's making clear that as a matter of fact, the people of the Republic of Cameroon have to take their destinies into their hands and not only think that they'll be waiting for instructions, for guidelines, and for calls by Issa Tchiroma Bakari in person, which means he's saying here that they should not always think that it is only when Issa Tchiroma Bakari will come and speak that things will be happening. So he's reminding the people that it is the people of the Republic of Cameroon themselves who voted massively for Issa Tchiroma Bakari, who voted for change, who voted to boot Paul Biya out of power. And so they have to take their responsibilities into their own hands. They have to take their destinies into their own hands and make sure that they go all the way to protect their vote, to protect the victory of change that emerged from the polls on the 12th of October 2025. And that is now why he's announcing that beginning Wednesday. He makes a mistake there by saying Wednesday is 13th, but Wednesday is the 12th. So beginning Wednesday the 12th, it is Wednesday that he says. I'm happy on the day he called another date because I recognize that that mistake should have been a slip. And so I guess that they are doing the correction. So he says from Wednesday, And Wednesday, the 12th of November, he says there have to be massive demonstrations on all the towns, cities, and villages of the Republic of Cameroon. And he says in the various localities, that is in the in the various towns and cities, the people have to march to the DO's offices, SDO's offices, governors' offices. Of course, you understand. If you follow Dupont said they have to be chased away if they are not paying allegiance to the new president. They have to be chased away. So you expect that with the Ministry of Fire already doing a lot of work in the northern regions. I said the Ministry of Fire has been ravaging every vestige of the CPDM in the northern regions of La République du Cameroon. They have burnt party edifices, burnt even the homes of the key people who call themselves members of the elite. Of course, they are taking the fight directly to those members of the CPDM crime syndicate that they know in their various localities in the northern regions. And so, therefore, this call saying that the demonstrations, and he says they will be peaceful. I've said it before, and I reiterate on this platform, I recognize that peaceful demonstrations is a right. And on this platform, I don't promote violence, but what I do, I communicate the messages that come across so that the people will be able to understand how to conduct themselves in every circumstance, especially to stay safe. And I've always said it, my focus is the people of the southern Cameroons who have been fighting now for at least 9 years to ensure that they take back, we take back our stolen country from La République du Cameroon and France. And so if the people of the southern Cameroons who still find themselves in the territories of La République du Cameroon, they are my prime concern here. Their safety bothers me a lot. That's what I am talking about here. And of course, I also should point out that this call, he says, beginning Wednesday, the 12th of November, the demonstrations are going to be non-stop. He says non-stop. So you should expect a lot of running battles in La République du Cameroon again in the days ahead. I guess someone will be in a haste to say, oh, but this man is talking, his Brigade Anti-Sardina is talking from France. Will he come to the ground to carry out these movements? Don't forget, I guess that Issa Tchiroma Bakari must have done what we did for the people of the Southern Cameroons in 2017, building a bridge between the people on ground and the people in the diaspora in such a way that the people on the ground understood that nobody on the ground will be standing anywhere comfortably on the ground and giving instructions for demonstrations, giving instructions for ghost towns, giving instructions for shutdowns, for lockdowns without, being apprehended and immediately killed. And so it is easier to let those who are free in the diaspora to give those kind of guidelines. So I believe that at this point, these people of the Republic of Cameroon have understood exactly how these things happen. At this point, these people of the Republic of Cameroon have learned the lesson for these few days of, idleness. But Dupont said one thing which is very interesting. Dupont is a gentleman whom in the last video I showed here said that if you are a senior divisional officer, a governor in the northern regions, you had until next week. That next week is beginning, Sunday, if I say as the first day of the week, but if you want Monday, that next week is beginning tomorrow. That if until next week you are a senior divisional officer, a governor, a brigade commander, what they call commissaire the police, as head of police unit in the northern regions, and you have not publicly sworn allegiance to Issa Tchiroma Bakari, the president-elect, then you should pack your things and leave. Because if you don't pack your things and leave, you will be returned in a coffin. So I suppose that we understand that if you see some calm now, this calm right now is relative. Because this is when the real activities are certainly going to begin. And a little gist I got from someone who talked with people close to Issa Tchiroma Bakari. He said when Issa Tchiroma Bakari eventually comes and talks today, unless for very last minute changes, there is confirmation Issa Tchiroma Bakari will be addressing the people of the Republic of Cameroon today. That means he's definitely right now in a safe location where he's able to, carry out his communications. So I was told that when he comes to talk today, Issa Tchiroma Bakari will be unveiling the activities that will mark the fourth phase of his strategic plan for resistance. Fourth phase of his strategic plan for resistance. So I understand that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is still as determined as ever before to go all the way to the end, and that he understands that this current struggle for him is existential. It is one for which, as he states himself, he is ready to lay his life. So it means the days ahead are going to become again extremely hot in the Republic of Cameroon. Let's finish up with this gentleman.
Peuple, nous avons accepté de participer à l'élection présidentielle. L'élection présidentielle, les résultats dont tout le peuple sait, toute la communauté internationale est au courant. C'est Issa Tchiroma Bakari qui a gagné les élections. Nous ne pouvons pas accepter. Et nous le disons de manière ferme et de manière déterminée. Seul le peuple est souverain. Personne n'attendait, personne venir intervenir à notre place. C'est à nous. Et en diaspora, nous devons nous organiser, comme nous sommes en train de le faire, pour prendre toutes les ambassades du Cameroun. Toutes les ambassades seront prises. Et nous appelons le peuple camerounais au 237. Levez-vous, chers frères. Levez-vous, comme vous l'avez fait après le Conseil constitutionnel. Vous vous êtes levés. Alors c'est maintenant que nous allons démontrer aux yeux du monde qu'impossible n'est pas camerounais. Seule la vérité libère. La vérité des urnes sera dite. Personne ne confisquera notre vérité. Personne ne confisquera le pouvoir au Cameroun. Issa Tchiroma Bakari est le 3e président de la République du Cameroun. Merci.
So you got that now again.
Bonsoir, bonsoir au peuple camerounais, bonsoir. Nous sommes aujourd'hui.
He is absolutely clear as I guess there was something to mix up there. So you get it very clearly. He does not mince words. He says that they are going, those of them in the diaspora, are going to launch assaults on various embassies, on La République du Cameroun embassy premises across the world. So they are going to be invading the embassies to demand from the ambassadors to pay allegiance to the new president, to the president-elect Issa Tchiroma Bakari. And so he's urging the people to recognize that no one will come from anywhere else to fight for them, to give them the better life they want. No one will come from anywhere else to do it for the people of the Republic of Cameroon. They have to do it themselves. So he's urging everyone to get up, to get out of their slumber. So he's saying, just like we got up immediately after the Constitutional Council proclaimed Paul Biya the winner fraudulently of the election, this is what we have to do again beginning Wednesday, November the 12th. So Wednesday, November the 12th, put an eye on this. Be very careful. Plan accordingly. If you have not stocked your house with food. If you have not stocked your house with water supply, make sure you get that. Make sure you have essential medication in your house, the generic medication you may need for malaria, for fever, and everything. And be sure that you really, for those of you who are Southern Cameroonians, please stay home. I've said this before and I'll reiterate. Stay home. And for our people on the territory of the Southern Cameroons, of course, while life will continue as usual, we have to remain extremely vigilant. We have our natural Monday ghost towns that will be observed. Those who are conducting the fight for our freedom on the ground will be coming out incessantly to give guidelines on exactly what will happen, because a lot of things too may change in the way of doing things in the Southern Cameroon. When things show and they tell you this is how you have to do, please simply obey for the sake of our lives. I don't want any of us to, make an error at this point and lose our lives when we are supposed to be alive to celebrate the victory that is lying right ahead of us. And so yesterday, they were condemning us, the people of the Southern Cameroons, when we were going to the embassies in the diaspora to tell the diplomatic corps, no, you will have to let the world know the truth of what is happening on the ground to the people of the southern Cameroons. At that time, they looked at us, they said all kinds of things, but today, you recall that our people even at some point took control of the embassy in Ottawa, in Canada. And so I guess that Mr. Ngole Philip Ngwese, who is now the High Commissioner in Canada, should be expecting a serious and sound visit from citizens of La République du Cameroon, coming to remind him that he has to pay allegiance to Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakari. So those are that's the avalanche of actions that they are planning, which tells you that the calm that you may be seeing right now is extremely relative, is very volatile, and so things are likely to change very, very, very fast. I like us to listen to this other gentleman saying, likely the same thing. Hear him. This one is Ernest Binzi.
Braquage électoral qui a été effectué par le groupe de M. Biya et lui-même contre son peuple, je vais vous envoyer un message. Je vais vous dire, en Côte d'Ivoire, Gbagbo s'est déclaré vainqueur, mais il a fini à la haie. Au Gabon, Ali Bongo s'est déclaré vainqueur, mais il a fini en exil. Au Zimbabwe, Mugabe s'était déclaré vainqueur et il a fini en exil. Se déclarer vainqueur ne fait pas de toi un chef d'État automatiquement, même après avoir prêté serment. Et vous, les gens de Yaoundé, vous, membres de l'armée, sachez, un gros, ça coûte $30. Et l'homme modifié coûte moins de $10. Et vos chars coûtent des centaines de millions. Faites les calculs. Si vous voulez la violence, nous ancrerons à la violence. Alors, nous allons marcher pacifiquement. Et si vous nous violentez, d'autres mesures seront prises afin que la République du Cameroun soit fiscalement sinistrée. Parce que ce tour-ci, M. Biya, je peux te le dire, nous allons rendre ce mandat ingouvernable si tu ne veux pas partir. Je peux te le confirmer.
Okay, so the person, the gentleman talking in this video is called Ernest Binzi. When you hear his name, Ernest Binzi, you understand that he's from the Bulu Ekan ethnic group. And so you hear him reiterate what the first gentleman said. He is very clear. He says the people will return to the streets. This is a mobilization call, that the people will return to the streets. So the streets of the towns and cities of La République du Cameroon will definitely be full again. And he makes another very clear indication when I should call that one a kind of warning. He says, for those who are in Yaoundé already celebrating, already trying to show some kind of triumph, already thinking that yes, they have succeeded again like they did in the previous years, that the whole thing, the resistance is dead and all of those things, he says he is reminding them very, very fast. Nobody should make any mistake. Don't be too fast. Nothing has started. So he says the real business is about to start. And he says they will demonstrate and demonstrate and demonstrate like nobody has seen before. Then he gets into a quick historical reminder. He is telling the people in Yaoundé, the authorities in Yaoundé, the members of the CPDM gang in Yaoundé, he is reminding them that in Côte d'Ivoire, of course, we know Laurent Gbagbo in 2010 took the oath of office. Of course, just like Paul Biya took the oath of office, he was sworn in, but he ended at the International Criminal Court. Of course, we all know. I mean, there's no point getting into all of that. He's reminding also that in Gabon, Ali Bongo was sworn in, was actually sworn in as president. But what happened? I mean, he ended up the way he has ended. He's in exile right now. And then he also talked of Zimbabwe. Of course, none of us have forgotten what happened in Zimbabwe. At 90, Robert Mugabe succeeded in getting himself re-elected, and he was pushed so seriously by his own wife, Ms. Grace Mugabe, who expected that she was going to, just like Chantal Biya, Run Mugabe with her boyfriends here, I beg your pardon, run Zimbabwe with her boyfriends here and there. And she even went too far by succeeding in get Mugabe to make her the vice president of the party, so that she was the heir apparent to the throne, to the presidency. Once Mugabe will be, if Mugabe became incapacitated. But don't forget, Nangagwa and the others only within the Mugabe camp kicked him aside. So he's reminded that taking the oath of office is no guarantee that you have succeeded. So taking the oath of office is no guarantee that you have succeeded. So he is sending this clarion call. And then he says something again which is very chilling. The chilling thing he says here is he is reminding the forces of law and order that they will demonstrate, whether the forces of law and order like it or not, the police, the gendarmes, the soldiers, the JPing, the JPIG, the B, the BA, the everything. He's reminding them that they will demonstrate and it will be peaceful. It will only be as peaceful as the forces of law and order want it. And if the forces of law and order want to make it violent, he says they have the capacity to go violent. And he reminds them that the instruments, the material they will require to use in destroying the military equipment, those vehicles that cost hundreds of millions in dollars, that in CFA, that they have the capacity to destroy those things with equipment whose composition will cost just $30 to $40, no more. And so he's reminding them, look at those your trucks, those your tankers, they cost hundreds of millions. But what we can use in destroying them will cost less than $50. That's why I say I'm taking it up to 50, because it says $20, $30, $40. So this is an indication that the people are well aware of the challenges that could be in their way of standing up for what they believe in. And so therefore, I will not be surprised to see things really getting the other way. And just so you know, and as I've said it before, especially in the southern Cameroons, I always said that Paul Biya's soldiers, the police, the gendarmes, the forces of law and order, are the people best positioned to cripple the system. Because first, within that sector, corruption is absolutely endemic. Then secondly, their capacity to provoke the people, to make the people mad to the point where they could be ready to say there is no point budging because the choice is between death and death. Oh yeah, I said so. They have that capacity, and this is what they are doing. You see, they say business à Bafoussam. La police et la gendarmerie demandent entre 100 et 500 000 francs CFA pour la libération de chaque personne interpellée dans le cadre de la crise post-électorale. So you see, this is what they have been doing in the southern Cameroons. We were complaining, we were screaming, we were talking, and some people thought that we were just mad and all of those things. But now it is happening live in the Republic of Cameroon. It's happening to them. Those are people are so used to it that they don't discriminate where they do it. So now all those that they have arrested, and they are arresting systematically every day in Bafoussam for you to regain your freedom, whether you participated in the demonstrations or not, whether you participated in burning down CPDM edifices or not, whether you participated in burning down the homes of members of the CPDM crime syndicate or not, you must pay 100 to 500,000 CFA francs before you regain your freedom. And of course, I said in my previous broadcast, in Yaoundé, in Douala, they are going after indigents of the northern regions, arresting them in huge numbers for nothing done, and just going and extorting money from them. And of course, that will contribute in no small way, in ensuring that at the end of the day, the people understand that they really have to go out to the streets to defend themselves. So that said, you now know that the business is definitely not going to be as usual. You now know that the people of the Republic of Cameroon are determined this time to show to the rest of the world that they are not absolutely weakling. I can't guarantee success. All we have to do is wait and see. But when it comes, I will communicate it. We will talk about it, and then we will pay attention. We will take all the caution that is required for us to stay safe and watch how the things unfold. And then as I said again, the challenges that the government of Cameroon is going to be facing, especially those down south, will be with logistics, with food stuff that with all the foods and goods that come down there from the northern regions, especially when they'll face issues with getting beef at affordable prices, getting onion, getting sorghum, getting garlic, getting grains, and all of those. But Yaoundé always has an idea, and they always have very smart ideas. They're never short of ideas. When something serious happens, they never want to look for permanent solutions. They always want to look for temporary solutions because their vocation is never resolving issues. It's always sweeping them under the carpet. So with the threat of hunger that could hit the country, surprisingly enough, the Minister of Trade in La République du Cameroun, Luc Magloire Mbarga Antangana, who has been in that ministry forever, has now called on the young Bulu Ekang Beti, indigenes to come forth quickly and be granted import-export permits, import-export licenses. Amazing, right? So that they will be able to import beef, they will be able to import onion, they will be able to import sorghum, import grains and everything from other countries. In normal circumstances, people who have brains will be looking at how to resolve the problem to make sure that there will be continuous flow of food, of basic commodities from north to south. Otherwise, if you want to look at it from in another manner, they should be calling the young people, I beg your pardon, to encourage them, to provide them resources to carry out agriculture, to produce those things that they are not able to produce, that they will be depending on coming from somewhere else. But the first instinct always for the Bulu Ekambeti numbskulls is to do what? Is to let's import. So they'll start flying cattle from France. They will start flying grains from France, getting all of those things from everywhere, and remain that very useless economy that they are right up to this point in time. Really amazing. And I want to really be, wrapping up with this. Don't forget, I said the last time that I was going to make a quick drop on this message of congratulations from the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé to the Paul Biya regime after Paul Biya's inauguration. Of course, you also see that in line with that, Mr. Tibo Nagy, who is the former U.S. Undersecretary at the Bureau of African Affairs under the first Trump administration, reacted to that message by saying, very disappointed to see U.S. Embassy Yaoundé send congratulations to Cameroon government. Of course, reading between the lines, I note the congratulations to Biya was on his inauguration, not election. He put election in inverted commas. And he says, I can't imagine anyone calling it an election. A joke. And then, of course, you have a recap of that message there which says, the United States congratulates President Paul Biya on his inauguration. We look forward to continuing our strong partnership with Cameroon to advance shared goals such as regional peace and security and prosperity for both our peoples. Now, harping out on that very quickly, people wanted to know, but what does that really present? What is the difference between congratulating Paul Biya for his inauguration and congratulating him for his election or re-election? Now, this hinges on something that I said here before, on something you call legality and legitimacy. These are two things that are very distinct. When you talk about legality and legitimacy, they are so intrinsically different that if you have an understanding of them, you realize you need both of them to be a whole. That's what I have explained before. Issa Tchiroma Bakari is saying he has legitimacy. Paul Biya, at this point in time, can only boast of something called legality. And so, if you are, having legitimacy and I'm having legality, it therefore means that there is a big challenge on both sides because you need both of them to fully operate. So legality is about following the law, while legitimacy is about whether the law or authority is seen as rightful and just. Does this make things clear? Legality is about following the law. So legally, okay. The Constitutional Council came and sat and said, yay, Elekam said Paul Biya won, we declare Paul Biya winner. And is it actually the will of the people? The Constitution says that legitimacy is the property of the people of the Republic of Cameroon. And because legitimacy is the property of the people of the Republic of Cameroon, they confer this legitimacy during electoral processes unto whomsoever they care. And so if the people confer legitimacy unto Issa Tchiroma Bakari, and then the institutions that be, Elekam and the Constitutional Council say, no, 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 no. Although the people chose Issa Tchiroma Bakari, we have refused. This is who we are deciding to go ahead and declare as winner, Paul Biya. And then the Constitutional Council declares him winner, and then the National Assembly goes ahead and swears him in. My dictionary says legality is about following the law, while legitimacy is about whether the law or authority is seen as rightful and just. An action can be legal but not legitimate, such as a law perceived as unfair or legitimate but not legal, such as a revolutionary or act supported by the people but against the existing law. Legitimacy is subjective and based on community belief in the right to rule or in the fairness of an action. So you see right here, therefore, you understand that the United States of America as a country will tell itself, okay, we have an embassy in Yaoundé. That embassy in Yaoundé, our ambassador in Yaoundé needs to be talking to someone. There's something we need done. Now, legally, if you follow legality, Paul Biya has been declared by the Constitutional Council as winner, and he has been sworn in by the National Assembly. That is legality. Absolutely has got nothing to do with legitimacy. And so the US Embassy says, okay, on this count, congratulations, you are now legally the president of Cameroon. But the US government did not recognize the election that led to this swearing in because they have not congratulated Paul Biya on that. And that is still a dark zone. And as long as that is still a dark zone, it still poses a problem. And that's why you see even a veteran in international affairs like Thibault Nagy takes note of it because he says, oh, of course, reading between the lines, I note the congratulations to Biya was on his inauguration, not election. I can't imagine anyone calling it an election, a joke. And then you notice that other arms of the US government, aside of the executive, have absolutely described it as a sham. So this tells you Paul Biya's position is still very shaky. This tells you the world recognizes, okay, legally, Paul Biya is seated there as president. But legitimately, is he president? Because the people's vote was clear. The rigging, the theft, and everything was transparent. Everyone could see it. And so everyone knows that no. This is not what we are seeing. So this is a problem. So which means that by and large, the Western world still recognizes that Paul Biya did not win the election. The United States of America still notes that Paul Biya did not win the election. He might be there legally, okay. If the people continue to fight to remove him, then it is their right. But if the people finally decide to let him there legally, he still has the power to sign. He still has this 2 days. But if the people boot him out, fine and good. And let me tell you, the situation gets even worse when people tend to pay attention to the kind of things that happened. I'd like us to go back to Paul Biya's hot mic moment at the inaugural ceremony at the National Assembly on Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. That embarrassment, that situation, that still succeeded to escape despite all security measures taken to ensure that everything will be conducted so mechanically that no one realizes that Paul Biya is no longer there. But nature is so hard to overcome. I know you have watched this, but I'm letting us look back at it and put it in some little context in just 2 minutes.
Monsieur le Président de la République élu, vous engagez-vous
Maintenant, je dois me lever.
Oui, parce qu'il va lire le serment, il est en train de lire.
Monsieur le Président de la République élu, vous engagez-vous
Comment? Maintenant, je dois me lever.
Oui, parce qu'il va lire le serment, il est en train de lire.
This is so shameful. This is so disgusting. This is so disgraceful. You can see in the man's maintenant, je dois me lever. This man is speaking before him. That tells you that he doesn't even know what is going on. Paul Biya doesn't even know where he is. He doesn't even understand whatever is happening. Because somebody is talking to him. So he's not even paying attention. Where they are saying that he's in another world, a completely different world. But this is someone that a bunch of Ngaputs are forcing to be president of a country of over 30 million people. The world is seeing it. This thing happened in Washington, D.C. And you see, that is it happening again. Even after they had bad access to all the private media networks. I mean, they bad access to all the private media networks. And they made sure nobody came in with a cell phone. Did you see any video of Biya alighting from his car at the arrival of the National Assembly, walking in, waving the people who came there to wait for him, and then finding his way into the assembly building, finally to where he was going to sit down to take his oath? No, people simply saw him emerging at the stage. Why? Because they had to carry him. They had to do all kinds of ways to bring the senile man onto to come and settle him down there. That's what it was. And that's why they stopped even the toppest of authorities from holding their phones. That's why you say this is a member of the Constitutional Council here. You see, this member of the Constitutional Council is walking, and the general officer has to collect their phones. Can you imagine? Right to the members of the Constitutional Council, the gang that came, sat, and pronounced Paul Biya winner of the election. They can't trust even them to go in with their cell phones because the situation is so bad. They don't want anybody to mistakenly capture anytime perhaps when Biya maybe on getting off force or on doing these trips and force, or get so in a very bad shape that it could be captured. But despite all these safeguards, all these guarantees, all these measures, no, nature still came ringing. Nature still came speaking, and speaking loudly, not only to the people in the hall, not only to the Cameroonians, but to the whole world. This shame of shames is never ending. And I guess this is what is waking the people of La République du Cameroun up. My dear people of the Southern Cameroon, this should be a wake-up call on us. This is not who we are. We don't belong here. We don't have to belong here. We never belonged in the first place. So we should do the needful. I'd like to end here, and I'd like to thank all of those who have been part of this broadcast. Thank you very much for choosing to spend part of your Sunday with me. But again, as I promised, unless there are last-minute changes that may cause Issa Tchiroma Bakari not to come out today as planned, in fact, he will be addressing the people of La République du Cameroun this day. So when he does that, I will be back here in the studio, perhaps with, a few knowledgeable people for us to have a good exchange on what he might have said, for us to make more sense from what he would have said, for us to make more sense from what he would have said, and for us to break everything down and have a better way of interpreting actions as they begin to unfold. Until then, thank you so much for your very kind attention. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, please go right ahead and hit on the subscribe button and make sure you personalize so that each time I'm on air or anything is on or anything comes on this platform, you'll be able to get it firsthand. And of course, do well to share the link and share as much as possible so we get to as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your very kind attention, and once more, happy Sunday. Well, just as I was about to sign off on this communication, I got indications from the technical department that Tchiroma Bakari is already here and making his first statement. So I guess my apologies. Fortunately, I was still, hanging around. I know that some might already have cut off because you saw the closing jingle, but I would let us listen to Tchiroma Bakari in just a few seconds. So while I'm trying to get that communication across, just take a look back at this hot mic moment of Mr. Paul Biya during his inauguration ceremony.
Monsieur le Président de la République élu, vous engagez-vous
Maintenant, je dois me lever.
Oui, exactement. Mettez-vous debout. C'est ce qu'il a dit. Parce qu'il va lire le serment. Il est en train de lire.
Monsieur le Président de la République élu, vous engagez-vous
Comment?
Mettez-vous debout, monsieur le Président.
Maintenant,
Oui, maintenant.
je dois me lever.
Oui, exactement. Mettez-vous debout. C'est ce qu'il a dit. Parce qu'il va lire le serment. Il est en train de lire.
I beg your pardon, I'm getting that message across. The technical department is putting that together for us. Just give us a minute and let's listen to this gentleman mobilizing the people to go to the streets once more while we get that message on just a minute.
Alors, je prends la parole aujourd'hui, après tout ce qui se passe au Cameroun, pour vous informer. Nous sommes le peuple. C'est nous qui avons élu dans notre majorité le président Tchiroma comme le 3e président de la République du Cameroun. C'est à nous qu'incombe la responsabilité de l'installer au pouvoir, sachant la dictature de Paul Biya que nous avons en face. Il est temps et il est urgent que chacun d'entre nous, tous ceux qui m'écoutent, que ce message soit partagé dans les groupes WhatsApp, partout, que tous les Camerounais, sur le triangle national, puissent se préparer pour une grande marche à partir du mercredi prochain, le mercredi 13 novembre 2025. Nous lançons une grande marche en tant que le peuple, une marche pacifique, organisée, dont dans chaque quartier, dans chaque ville, dans chaque village, la direction, ce sont les sous-préfectures, les préfectures, le siège des gouverneurs. Et à Yaoundé, c'est étudié. C'est une marche qui ne s'arrêtera uniquement une fois avoir chassé le régime de Paul Biya au pouvoir. Nous sommes un peuple. Nous avons accepté de participer à l'élection présidentielle. L'élection présidentielle, les résultats dont tout le peuple sait, toute la communauté internationale est au courant. C'est Tchiroma Bakari qui a gagné les élections. Nous ne pouvons pas accepter. Et nous le disons de manière ferme et de manière déterminée. Seul le peuple est souverain. Personne n'attendait. Personne venir intervenir à notre place. C'est à nous. Et en diaspora, nous devons nous organiser comme nous sommes en train de le faire pour prendre toutes les ambassades du Cameroun. Toutes les ambassades seront prises. Et nous appelons le peuple camerounais de s'embrasser. Levez-vous, chers frères. Levez-vous comme vous l'avez fait. Après le Conseil constitutionnel, vous êtes levés. Alors c'est maintenant que nous allons démontrer aux yeux du monde qu'impossible n'est pas camerounais. Seule la vérité libère. La vérité des urnes sera dite. Personne ne confisquera notre vérité. Personne ne confisquera le pouvoir au Cameroun. Issa Tchiroma Bakari est le 3e président de la République du Cameroun. Merci. Bonsoir, bonsoir au peuple camerounais, bonsoir. Nous sommes aujourd'hui le samedi 8 novembre 2025. Alors, je prends la parole aujourd'hui, après tout ce qui se passe au Cameroun, pour vous informer. Nous sommes le peuple. C'est nous qui avons élu.
Okay, we now have that feed, and so here it goes.
Chers compatriotes, c'est en ma qualité de président élu de la République du Cameroun que je prends la parole pour qu'en raison de l'extrême gravité dans laquelle nous nous trouvons, j'estime utile de porter à la connaissance du monde en général et des nations qui ont érigé la démocratie et le respect des droits de l'homme comme fondement de leur existence, porter à leur connaissance le fait que tout le peuple camerounais aujourd'hui se trouve le dos au mur, confronté à une menace existentielle de la part de ce régime qui pratique du gangstérisme d'État, qui terrorise nos populations, procède à des purges politiques, purges au faciès, purges dans toutes les régions de notre nation. Une situation inacceptable, intolérable, dès lors qu'en dehors de toute procédure judiciaire, des dizaines, des centaines, des milliers de Camerounais sont arrêtés, incarcérés, persécutés. Je voudrais donc également attirer l'attention de tous les Camerounais, mais en particulier de tous ceux qui ont foi en Dieu, du sacrilège, de la profanation auquel s'est livré le président Biya lors de la soi-disant prestation de serment. Le monde entier sait que Biya n'a jamais été élu. La nation camerounaise dans son ensemble sait que Biya n'a jamais été élu. Mais qu'il se permette de poser la main sur la Bible au nom de Dieu. Il apparaît donc aujourd'hui à tout le monde que pour M. Biya, Dieu n'est qu'un instrument qui lui permet donc de réaliser ses basses besognes. Je voudrais donc dire à ce régime qui pratique du gangstérisme d'État, qui se livre